What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and today we are talking about Upamecano, the absolute fantastic RB Leipzig centre-back, and he has a very low release clause compared to what his actual value is, and Liverpool could make even a January swoop for this absolutely amazing player. And concerning has been Liverpool's defending this season. We conceded a record 11 goals in the first 4 games. That's as bad as Manchester United, believe it or not. And especially the 7-2 mauling of Liverpool by Aston Villa was very worrying. Joe Gomez, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold all had absolute horror shows. And with Joel Matip being very injury prone and Joe Gomez having so far a very shaky start to the season, Liverpool are looking to strengthen their backline with a potential long-term replacement for Dejan Lovren. And Upamecano is a fantastic player. If you watched Leipzig in the Champions League last season where they made the semi-finals, you could see how good Upamecano was. He was their best defender by a country mile. So guys, if you are enjoying these videos, leave a like, subscribe if you are new around here, turn on the bell notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool news and updates on my channel. And the fact that, for example, against Chelsea, Liverpool had to use Fabinho as a centre-back alongside Van Dijk shows that Liverpool are a little bit short in this area. And one major block, stumbling block, for Upamecano's transfer in the transfer window that just finished was that his old deal had a £54 million release clause. And of course nobody really wanted to pay that in this current climate with the pandemic and the financial crisis. But Upamecano signed a new contract with RB Leipzig, and that comes with a fresh release clause, which could be a game changer in terms of Upamecano's next move, because the German outlet Sportbild newspaper claims that the revised deal means that Upamecano can leave next summer for a reduced figure of £36.5 million, which is around 40 million euros. And that's a win-win situation for everyone. Potential suitors will be able to bid at a much lower price, and Leipzig, who would run the risk of losing Upamecano on a free transfer, can get still a very substantial fee, because Upamecano only had 1 year left on his contract before he signed this new deal. Yeah, they didn't want to lose him for absolutely nothing. That he's worth more than that 40 million euro mark. I think he's worth at least 45-50 million pounds, maybe even more. So Liverpool could get him for 36 million, and who knows, if we offer 40 million for Leipzig in January, we could get him earlier even. And I think Leipzig would accept it, because in the summer they will know that Upamecano can leave for just 36 million pounds. And Sportbild newspaper are saying that Liverpool and also Man United are aware of the new release clause, and both are interested in doing a deal at the lower price for Upamecano. Man City are also mentioned in the report, but Pep Guardiola appears to have dealt with his defensive issues by bringing in Ruben Dias from Benfica for an absolutely crazy £60 million transfer, and they also bought Nathan Ake. So Man City again spent £100 million on defenders, and they still conceded 5 goals against Leicester. And former Man United centre-back Rio Ferdinand gave a very glowing review of Upamecano's talents in a recent interview. He said this: Upamecano is young, he's good on the ball, he's athletic, he's strong, mobile, he plays every game for Leipzig. He's one you can see coming in right now to the Premier League. Kalidou Koulibaly has been spoken about for 2 or 3 years. He might have missed the boat due to his age now. There is no resale value if you sign Koulibaly. Upamecano is the one who jumps out to me. When I watched the Champions League last year, he was the one who stood out to me. And I was the same. Every time I watched Leipzig, I was very impressed with Upamecano, even when they got beat by PSG in the semi-final. That the goals weren't really Upamecano's fault, and he just looks like an absolutely imperious centre-back. And for 36 million pounds, he is an absolute bargain. And if Liverpool keep conceding a lot of goals, and if Matip keeps being injury prone, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp seriously need to look at this centre-back position and maybe strengthen it in the summer, or maybe even as early as in the January transfer window. And Upamecano is still just 21 years old. He is French and he is 186 centimeters tall. That's 6 foot 1 inches tall. But even just at 21 years old, he has a wealth of experience. He has been playing in Leipzig for a long time. He actually had already 116 appearances for Leipzig, which is absolutely crazy to me at 21 years old that he has this many games, and overall he has 155 games already in his career. He started off his career in Liefering in the Austrian First League, and then he signed for Red Bull Salzburg in the Austrian Bundesliga. He had one good season there, and then he went to Leipzig, and since the second season, he went to Leipzig in January, I think, in the 2016-17 season, when he was just 17-18 years old. And since then, he has been ever present at Leipzig, playing almost all of the games. He had one season where he had a big injury, where he only played 22 games, but otherwise he has been really playing almost every game for Leipzig. And he also is a French international footballer now. He already played 3 times for the France national team this year, and he also scored his first goal against Croatia very recently on September the 8th for France. And he won the UEFA European Under-17 Championship in 2015 with France as well, and he got selected into the team of the tournament that year as well. And he also was in the UEFA Champions League squad of the season for last season, and I think that's fully deserved because Leipzig had a great Champions League campaign, reaching the semi-finals. And actually Upamecano didn't, his first professional games were at Liefering, but he is a youth academy product of Valenciennes, a French second division club, and then he was signed by Red Bull Salzburg and they loaned him out in the 2015-16 season. And just a fun fact for you guys, which is very interesting, that Upamecano's parents they are from Bissau, Guinea, which is a small African country. Upamecano just has that incredible physicality, I think, and also his footballing education is very good. Leipzig, remember, have been in the title race now for a couple of seasons in the Bundesliga. They are having a very strong start to the season again, and Upamecano is now one of the biggest up-and-coming young centre-back talents, and that's just 21 years old. If we sign him, he could be a long-term replacement for players like Joel Matip and Dejan Lovren, who are now almost 30. Lovren is already above 30 and he went to Zenit. And I think Liverpool need another centre-back, somebody exactly like Upamecano. He fits the bill perfectly, and I think at £36 million it makes perfect sense to go for him. And Wijnaldum spoke about Thiago, and he said that Thiago and Liverpool are a perfect match. This is what he said. Everything impressed me about Thiago. I saw him play for years now. I played against him when we played against Bayern Munich, and the awareness he has on the pitch, the confidence he has on the ball, and the way he manages to let the team play is unbelievable. He's such a quality player that is going to make this team even better than we were before. So I'm really happy. Everyone is really happy to have him here. He's also happy to be here. I think it's a perfect match, Liverpool and Thiago. And Wijnaldum expects the added ability and personality provided by the new signings to be particularly beneficial over the course of a demanding season. And this is what Wijnaldum said about the new signings. Brilliant. They are all class players. They already showed at their previous clubs that they are really good players, and we are really happy to have them here because they make the squad better. With them we have a bigger squad. I think you need that during a season, but the most important thing is that they are quality players, and that makes the team even better than we were before. I'm really happy with the signings. They are also good personalities, good people. They totally fit into the team we have. James Pearce, Liverpool-based journalist, explained that Billy Koumetio, the new 17-year-old young centre-back, has really went above and beyond to impress Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool's first-team players. This is what he said. The thing with Billy Koumetio is it wasn't just the quality of his performances in training that caught the eye of the manager. It was also how good he was at taking on instructions and working on things that the staff asked him to focus on. It was also his attitude and general application, which I know that a lot of senior players picked up on as well. I think it's a balancing act for young kids trying to make their mark in that senior environment, because you don't want to be a shrinking violet, but you don't want to be arrogant either. The senior squad all said that Billy as a character was great to have around, very humble, down to earth, and he really wanted to learn and take in all the new information. And that's very impressive, and that bodes well for the future. I don't think he's ready right now for Premier League football, but in a few years he could be saving Liverpool a big transfer fee if it develops into as good a centre-back as Joe Gomez is right now. And what is also interesting is that just a few days after Xherdan Shaqiri has tested positive for COVID, he now tested negative for the virus, because it looks like he was infected much earlier than his recent test, and basically they found antibodies in his blood for COVID, which means that he now could travel to Spain with the rest of the Switzerland squad, of course awaiting the UEFA Medical Committee's confirmation that Shaqiri can play. And I really hope that no more Liverpool players contact COVID during this international break, because I'm still worried about Henderson. Will he be fit for the Merseyside derby? I think it's very important for Henderson to start that game, but he was an unused substitute, or he didn't even make the bench, I think, in last night's very unnecessary friendly, England against Wales. Why do you need to play friendlies in the middle of a pandemic? I just don't understand, honestly. It really blows my mind. And Joe Gomez played, Trent Alexander-Arnold was an unused substitute, but Jordan Henderson wasn't even on the bench, I think, which is very concerning, because 5 days ago, when we played Aston Villa, he was on the bench at Liverpool. So does this mean that there is a flare-up in his injury? Did it get worse? Will he miss now the Merseyside derby? Of course, we don't know any official information from Liverpool yet, but it's still very concerning, I think. And John Barnes gave his opinion on Adrian. Of course, John Barnes is a Liverpool legend. He used to be one of the best wingers in the Premier League in the 90s. And let's see what he has to say about Alisson. I think in terms of a number 2 goalkeeper, Adrian came in last year and he did quite well when he arrived. But considering he was taken on as a backup, whereas now with Alisson injured, Liverpool is looking for someone to come in for 3 to 4 months. Judging by previous performances, I'm not convinced Adrian is the man for the job. The 7-2 loss against Aston Villa was really hard. Not only would it have knocked Adrian's confidence, but it would also have put doubts in players' minds if he has what it takes to help Liverpool win games at this level. At the end of the day, he was a free agent, a free transfer, which at times says something about a player. And I think it's clear as day how important Alisson is to Liverpool, and him being unavailable really makes basically the Premier League title race a lot more open than it should be, because now Liverpool are vulnerable defensively. Of course, Barnes continued. Alisson is just as important as Van Dijk, and there is no doubt that his absence will hurt Liverpool a lot. The question is just how much damage will it do? Alisson is an incredible goalkeeper, so we are looking at massive shoes to fill, which is a problem which became very obvious over the weekend. But with Alisson, it's also psychological in knowing that you have him there. Players trust him. He provides the team with a lot of stability, and I think they will struggle to find that in a backup goalkeeper. And considering what happened against Aston Villa, many have lost faith in Adrian, which is an issue. So it will be interesting to see what happens in the next few days. Maybe Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool should alter their tactics just a little bit. Instead of playing such a high line, we should be focusing on, if we play a high line, to definitely 100% put pressure on the player who has the ball. Because time and time again, and I know it's crazy, I rewatched that Aston Villa game's highlights, actually many times now, just to really pinpoint where Liverpool went wrong with their tactics. And every time Aston Villa went behind us, there was no pressure on the ball. And Liverpool were trying to play an offside trap. And when there is no pressure on the ball, you have to drop back. And that's what Liverpool weren't doing. Van Dijk, Trent, Gomez kept the high line and they didn't drop back, and that's what I think Liverpool should have done. If there is no pressing from the midfield and from the front players, and I think Henderson and Mane were two big misses. They are the two most relentless high pressing players in Liverpool's team, and the fact that they weren't there helped, of course, that there was no pressure on the ball. But I think that Van Dijk should have just said at halftime to the players, this is not working, let's drop back 10-15 yards and let's keep it like it is, and hopefully going forward we can have players who can hurt Aston Villa. And Sadio Mane also praised Thiago in a recent interview, saying that he will take Liverpool to the next level in the coming months, and that this is what Mane said. I think not only the fans are excited to see Thiago, for sure, especially me and my teammates, we're really happy to have this kind of quality in our squad. It only makes us better. I can see from day one in training and the game against Chelsea what he's doing, and I'm sure he will take us to another level. We are looking forward to seeing Costas and Diogo Jota as well, who is a really good signing for us. I'm really happy to have them as well. They are good players, and they will also take us to another level, which for us is something incredible, and for the fans as well. So Mane is very optimistic, and I'm still optimistic about the season, but that Aston Villa loss is definitely a big concern, and I think Liverpool should figure out tactically how we need to adapt and change to teams now trying really hard to get in behind Liverpool's defense. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.